Moving on though, Rachel Reeves is also facing anger. Quite a lot of anger from pub and hospitality owners accused of failing to support the Great British Pub, despite promising major help in her budget. Well, small businesses say they're now staring down the barrel at soaring business rates and bills after the Chancellor chose to cut relief for far less than the government is legally able to. And many fear their pubs, cafes and shops may not survive beyond April. Well, joining us now is founder of Beermaster UK, Andrew Morgan. Andrew, thank you for coming in the studio to talk to me about this today, because I've been speaking to publicans over the last few weeks, and not just publicans, farmers and other people, but the hospitality sector in particular, which has taken a hammering over the last 5 years.
It feels like death of a thousand cuts, right? And I think the one thing that any business needs is good forecasting. And I think the challenge of what's happened with the business rates is that they were kind of promised, or it certainly alluded to this idea that it was going to be a bigger discount, and the smaller discount coming in, again, just adds another layer of despondency to the energy costs, to the staffing costs, to ultimately what's going to be the price of a pint, and the tolerance of the general public to pay what they're going to have to, because the government continues to try and take as much money as they can from hospitality. And
it's not just business rates, of course, as well. It's energy bills. They're set to increase over the next few years too. Do you think that the Labour Party is systematically going against pubs here, or is it just a result of actually as the government would argue, the economy's not great, we can't keep all these taxes up? I know we'll talk about the budget in just a second, by the way. I'm just giving you an alternative perspective. Do you think the government maybe just how looking down the barrel of these things go, we just can't afford to help you?
I think the challenge for most people is that no one understands what the government are doing. And I think the sense of what they could do is apparent. UK Hospitality have got all kinds of measures to try and support the government in making decisions that will help hospitality businesses. You can look at the Irish and look at how they've reduced VAT for hospitality. You can look at various dispensations. Again, this one felt like with the business rates was an opportunity to just support a little bit more money going into the pockets of what are hard-working people. I mean, anyone who's worked in hospitality knows it's not easy. They are at the forefront of providing something in life that makes us all smile a bit. A pint or a pie or whatever it is we're going to do. I think we need that, and the idea that pressure is on the people that are supporting us as members of the public. I think that's where they're really missing or misaligning with what's actually important to our way of life, to the things that are going to make people want to vote for them. I mean, it seems like they're almost sabotaging themselves, right? Like why would we support closing or making it hard for pubs and restaurants? Why would we do that?
We've got the Workers' Rights Bill as well, which has been slightly watered down. That's going to come in shortly. How's that going to impact hospitality sector?
I think, the challenge of anyone who's run a business is that staff are challenging, maintaining and managing staff, and the idea that the workers' rights are going to be even greater. So at the moment, if you've been working for a year, you kind of don't have a lot of rights as a worker. But once you get to that year, 2 years, it becomes much harder for a business to penalise you. Now it's going to be, I think it's days, hours, that someone is employed, and they have rights which make it very, very hard for a business to manage themselves. Again, it feels like, why do we need the government to intervene? I think we can all agree that the employees' rights are good, and the employers are often seen as being the big bad wolf. But we're talking small businesses. We're talking businesses that aren't some corporate giants. They're getting caught in the net. So if you might want to try and protect workers' rights for bigger organisations that maybe there needs to be a bit of tightening, this one rule for all, again, just feels like they're missing the point of trying to give the illusion that they're helping the country, that they're helping employees, but actually it means the burden on the employer, they won't hire new staff.
Well, I want to ask you about that. I've got quite a few little brothers, and they come back from university and they want to get seasonal jobs, a lot of them. With the minimum wage increase as well, and the Workers' Rights Bill, how much of this stuff is really going to impact seasonal work, which is critical to our economy?
I think fundamentally it will still happen. I think, again, it's almost like how hot can the frog be before it finally expires? We're not expiration. There'll be businesses that will have to find a way to manage these increased costs. And I think that will turn into products being more expensive. I think fundamentally, and you know that a penny at the farm is probably going to be, almost a pound when you finally get into a supermarket. And the supermarkets won't tolerate it. So the supermarkets aren't going to put their prices up. They don't want to. So the pressure is on these small, the farmers, the small holdings, the people who are going to somehow have to make that money work. And believe me, these are people who are not becoming wealthy overnight. They're not driving Porsches and Ferraris, right? They're working very hard to support a lifestyle that we should be indebted to them for. I mean, I think we'd all, can acknowledge that we need them. So again, why the squeeze? Why not look at ways to just take the pressure off a little bit? COVID was hard. We all had to adjust to a ridiculous degree in terms of businesses. And I think the idea now that somehow, again, we're not out of the woods. The government are going to continue to provide new banana skins that we never thought were possible. But I think the really annoying thing here is that sense of it's worse to offer somebody, to give someone the promise of something that might happen and then take it away. So that 20p discretion that was there, I think the fact that they haven't gone to actually execute it, and it was almost, it's a carrot that was dangled, is particularly challenging for the people that are running these businesses who thought maybe this is going to be a bit of help. And actually, it's been significantly worse than they thought. And again, it comes back to that forecasting. Businesses really looking and saying, how are we going to make this work? As it's only going to get worse as properties become more expensive.
Andrew Morgan, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon to talk about that. And I think many people in the hospitality sector, many business owners will just be wondering why they haven't been helped when so many other people have, particularly when this government said it was going to help working people. But there we go. Andrew Morgan, founder of Beer Master UK, thank you very much.